Ball is fumbled, picked up by Kenneth Olabode, and he runs it in from the 6.
And Colorado has upset UCLA.
20th, and there it is! Are you kidding me?
Jumper from 15 and will knock it down. Kennedy Leonard.
Over left, there's a slip screen inside. Actually elevates and slams with the left hand.
Great pass in the middle. Oh, McClay. Goodness. Cox goes around, finds McClay coming streaking in, and she just pump fakes high, goes low.
Yeah, big Colorado win here in Boulder. Final score, Colorado 18. UC Davis.
Hi again, welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. I'm Mark Johnson of KOA Radio, your play-by-play voice of the Buffs. Some great highlights there. How about that CU women's lacrosse team, unblemished 4-0, big win over UC Davis, and they're ranked number 9 in the country right now. Although we're talking football right now, Steven Montez, who did play lacrosse, by the way. Junior high school, you're telling me, or what?
I played in middle school. I played PE lacrosse, and it was really fun. It's really hard to control the rock, though.
It's an interesting game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
A lot of fun. In fact, you can work in your agility, all that kind of sort of stuff. Here we are looking at 2017. Buffs coming off of a 10-win season, 4 practices in the books here for the football team in spring ball. By the way, that spring game coming up March 18th. How's it feel so far?
I mean, it's been good. You know, just everyone's getting better. Everyone's making strides. We still got tons of work to do, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
Now, it would appear, and again, there's always competition. We know that. But, you know, Cepha Lufa, 4-year starter, graduates. You played very well the couple of times you started this past season. It would appear this is Steven Montez's team. How do you view this going into 2017?
I mean, I view it as competition. We got 2 good quarterbacks in Tyler Idle and Sam Noyer that also want the starting job. So I just got to come out here and work hard every day because I know I got people behind me pushing me.
What do you think you learned from that bit of experience you got this past season?
Just to stay composed. Stay composed. Studying the playbook is huge before games. Studying the installs, studying our game plans when we're actually preparing for teams is huge. And then just once you're out on the field, it's kind of just like let the preparation play its part and just go out there and ball.
There is another side of this, isn't there, though? They're not, when you're the quarterback of a team, not only do you have to be prepared, you got to know, obviously, the game plan and orchestrate the offense. Yeah. There's a leadership aspect to it as well. What do you think you learned from that, from maybe watching a guy like Cepho for a couple of years?
I learned a ton from Cepho. I think he's probably one of the greatest leaders I've ever been around.
Right.
And so I just learned a ton from him, just from being vocal to maybe not being so vocal and letting your actions speak louder than your words, and just kind of mixing it up, and just he played the best leader role that I've seen, like I said. And so I kind of just try to just fill in those shoes and walk in his footsteps, just kind of just think what would Cepho do.
When you look back on 2016, 10-win season, Pac-12 South Championship, Buffalo's playing in the Pac-12 title game, going to a bowl game. You look back and say, okay, now we set a new standard. Now you got to improve upon that?
Yeah, definitely. I think nobody likes the way that we went out last year with 2 losses and 2 big games. So it left a bad taste in our mouth. So we want to come out and obviously do better than we did last year, which our goal is obviously a Pac-12 championship. And then if we do that, we should be in contention for a national championship as well.
All right, as I sit here next to my camera, he looks leaner. You look like you've lost some weight.
I've lost a little bit of weight. I lost about 25 pounds.
Washboard abs now?
You're going to have to check Twitter for that one. Air Montez 12 if you guys want to see that. You're going to have to look on Twitter and Instagram for that one.
Okay, the abs are on Twitter. Losing the weight, how does that help you as a player?
Makes me a lot faster. Makes me a lot more in shape. Obviously a lot leaner, and I'm actually getting stronger in the weight room as I'm losing my weight. So
outside of Tim Tebow, quarterbacks don't have to be big and
they don't have to be huge. Tim Tebow was a big guy. I don't think people understand how big Tim Tebow was. He's a big guy.
Yeah, but you don't have to be that way when you're a quarterback.
No, you don't have to be that big. I mean, you just gotta be in shape.
When you look at this 2017 season, all your receivers are coming back. That's got to be a nice security blanket for a quarterback.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous having all the receivers come back.
Who stands out of that group for you?
I don't know if I could say a particular one. They're all the blackout boys. They're all cold as ice.
And the thing about it is, I mean, they all have had great games. So, you've got confidence in throwing the ball. All those guys.
Rely. You got big play Shea on the outside. You got Mr. Top 10 himself, Bryce Bogle, on the outside. You got Dev with speed. J Max made huge plays. Lee Walker is looking very good right now in spring, and he's got tons of speed on him. And then we got obviously Jawan's injured right now. He's coming back. He's going to be a freak. So we got weapons everywhere.
Can this offense be better in 2017 than it was last year?
I believe it will be.
Yeah.
It definitely has the potential to be.
How about, you talk about the Blackout boys there. You had the fellas on the other side of the ball that were so great for the Buffaloes in 2016. A lot of graduation, a lot of losses.
The money gang.
Yeah, the money gang. How about the guys that could be filling in those positions? What do you see from those guys?
We got some people that could come in and fill in for the money gang. We got some ballers. Trey Udofia's looked really good. And then obviously Foe and Isaiah's with track, so he hasn't been here as much, but he still looks good. And then Ryan Moeller. We got a bunch of different guys everywhere, but Trey Udofia is probably the standout for me on defense so far.
What do you, as you look at this period of spring, well, these 15 practices you guys are going to, what do you want to accomplish offensively through the course of these few weeks?
Just probably get all the installs down and just have everybody know their jobs and execute their jobs very well. Mm-hmm. I think if we do that going into fall camp, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to specify our game plans for different teams.
And
it makes it a lot easier.
From an off-season standpoint, I'd imagine for a young guy like you that wants to take control of this offense, it's going to be a year of repetition, studying to make sure that when September rolls around, you're fully immersed in this thing, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely. Tons of film, tons of studying, tons of reps and practice, all to a bigger goal of hopefully starting in the fall.
All right, there we go. Buffalo's March 18th. They've got the spring game at Folsom Field. That's quarterback Steven Montez. When we come back, we go from football to skiing as we continue here on the Stampede. Continuing with the Buffalo Stampede, here's some great images from the Rocky Mountain Intercollegiate Ski Association Championships this past weekend. Great weekend for the Colorado Buffaloes. Mads Stroem joining us here for a couple of minutes on the Buffalo Stampede. Great weekend for the Buffs, huh?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
finally we saw the sun again. That was nice.
Good stuff. And the Buffs went out and, of course, won the championship. This has been a good season for Colorado. It always is in skiing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we usually have a pretty solid team, so our goal is always to win the national championship. So the regional championship is always a step before the NCAA. We always try to win that one and then just keep the momentum into the NCAA.
Senior out of Oslo, Norway. Well, when you're at a program like this that has those expectations, I mean, a good year is you win the championship. A bad year is you don't win the championship for this program.
Second place doesn't count in skiing. So, yeah, first place is what we aim for every year, and I think we work hard for it. And I think this year is, it's out east again, and we have a good tradition out east. So hopefully we can win it again.
Obviously, you've got a lot of expectations for what's coming up. You're a three-time NCAA champion, 2016 Nordic Skier of the Year. When do you look back in your career? What do you think about it?
It's been a crazy ride, I would say. It's been so much fun. I didn't know what to expect when I came here from Norway, back in 2013 for the fall. I didn't really know what the level was like and how fast they were guys and the school and everything. But I look back at it, it's been the best experience of my life so far.
What led you here from Norway?
I think that I skied at a really high level in Norway, and I wasn't selected for the under 23 World Championship back in 2013. I was kind of not happy about that, and I was like, I knew some people over here. We started, the snowball rolling a bit, and emails came in from the coaches. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it.
Awesome. And never look back, right?
Never look back.
Well, the Buffaloes had a great weekend, as we mentioned. In fact, they trailed DU in the final lap of the Nordic race. Let's get your analyst hat on.
Oh,
that was a great comeback for the Buffs.
That was cool. To be honest, women skiing sometimes they get separated pretty fast. But this time there's like 10 people in there, and you couldn't really tell who's going to win. And then suddenly DU was up like 1, 2, 3 in front, and I was like, oops, that might kill our title win here. And then the girls just came back and went 3, 4, 5 and just secured a win, which is cool. And it's just a slim margin of like 7.5 points, which is even cooler, to be honest. When you win by just a tiny margin.
Yeah, just a slim margin, in fact. The Alpine and Nordic divisions in this ski team, what's kind of the relationship between those two sides of the team?
It's they only Richie always try to make sure that we are one team, even though we're kind of separated. We don't see each other much because usually they are one venue, we're at the other, and you switch around, and we just try to be one team. And I think that's important for the NCAA too, because half the team, or more than half the team, are not going to the NCAA. We're still one team, and we still fight for everybody. So I think that's important.
So the Buffaloes are on to the NCAA championships in New Hampshire. Is there a difference in skiing out east than maybe here in the Rocky Mountains?
Yeah, I think the altitude is a big one. Sea level skiing is different from altitude skiing. It's way faster in a way that you have to set the pace higher because you obviously have more oxygen in the air, so you can go faster. So, and also the snow is different. It's usually faster out there than here due to the humidity and stuff like that. So it's
does it make the conditions icier?
You might, and it might change faster in the east than it does in the west. I think it's more you can definitely see a week ahead for the weather forecast in the east and be like, okay, that's what it's going to be like. Out in the east, it's going to change day to day. So
when those conditions, for a guy that's not a skier myself, when those conditions change, what changes in your approach to what you're doing?
Well, you have to get different skis and everything like that. You have to maybe plan your race differently. Maybe you race slower in the beginning if it's softer, or if it's harder. You gotta, it's a lot of things that you have to change every single day. So it makes it more fun, I think.
How has this season been? This guy here, by the way, just 4 or 5 weeks ago had an appendectomy. How are you skiing already after something like that?
I don't know. It was crazy. I woke up one day just before the day before our first race of the season, and just like my stomach is hurting, Bruce. I said to Bruce, like, this is bad. And we met a doctor at the venue. It's like, yeah, you got to go to the hospital right now. Yeah, I got down there in Utah. They were super nice, and they got it out within like 12 hours. And well, they said 2-week recovery for you, and since you're an athlete, and yeah, 5 weeks later, here I am, and I'm getting better each day.
Are you feeling 100% at this point?
I think so, yeah. Finally, this weekend was maybe the first time I was above 90, and now I'm getting close to 100, so that's good.
I'd have to think initially, I mean, you use a lot of abdominal muscles when you're skiing.
I was so sore. I couldn't even get out of bed. I had to roll out on the side to get out, so I couldn't even do a crunch to get up.
And yet he's flying down a mountain. Well, congratulations. Keep up the good work, and good luck at the NCAA championships.
Well, thank you so much.
Mads Stroem joining us here on the Buffalo Stampede. We're going to shift gears, talk men's hoop. Tad Boyle is going to join us next after a quick timeout. Back up top, White, head fake, strives down the lane, elevates for the jam! Right over the top of Johnson!
Wow, one of the best dunks of the year.
Tied up at 9, and Derek White has just left this place on fire. Well, that certainly was a highlight for the Bucks game with Utah, but Colorado comes up on the short end of that contest and falls to the Utes of Utah, now getting ready for their final homestand. 2 games with Stanford and Cal, the Bay Area teams coming in. Head coach Tad Boyle joining us here on the Stampede. That was a tough one, a frustrating game. I kind of got sense from you afterward.
Yeah, I think it's past frustration. I think it turned to anger there, and it still lingers with me right now. It probably will till we get the Stanford game under our belt. But consistency, Mark, as you know, with this team this year has been our Achilles heel, and I think the Utah game is another example of that. Our offense is anemic in the first half, shooting 37%. We come out and score 52 points in the second half. Shoot almost 52%, but now we can't get stops. We didn't get stops the whole game. So, the lack of the commitment to the defensive end of the floor, and then our inconsistencies offensively cost us a game. And it's unfortunate because what a performance by Derek White, and it was wasted because that kid's doing everything for us.
Yeah, he has been outstanding. 31 points, in fact, for White, 12 for George King, 12 for Wesley Gordon in that contest. 7 straight against Utah. What has it been about the matchup with the Utes?
Well, number one, we've lost close games, and then this one, the first game. Every game's different, so I don't look at streaks, whether you're winning, whether you're losing. It has nothing to do with the matchup with Utah. It has everything to do with that game that night, and because again, we've had our struggles and our success against different teams in the league. USC this year is the first time we've lost to them. I think since we've been in the league. So it's every game's a new game. Every season's a new season. That's one thing I'm learning.
Has this been as, I'm not sure, difficult or frustrating, perplexing, maybe that's the word we need, a season for you as a head coach?
Perplexing, because again, we've got guys that we know are capable of getting it done at this level. We've got a team that's beaten a really good Xavier team when they were at full strength, and they lost their best player to an ACL, quite some time ago. But we beat them at full strength. We beat the Oregon team here at home, and then we've had some losses where you scratch your head. But the one thing about the Pac-12 is it's a heck of a league, and it doesn't matter if you're at home or on the road. If you're not ready to play and you don't, bring, your hard hat to work every day, you're going to get beat, and that's happened to us. And so it has been frustrating because we're capable, and it's a great learning experience for our players.
You have built this program on rebounding and defense. We talk frequently about that, and that's got to be, I would think, the most difficult thing for you to accept is the way this team has been up and down defensively.
Absolutely, there's no doubt. I mean, and you look at the statistics in the Pac-12. We are like between 5th and 8th or 9th in every category. Yep. I mean, we're just a middle-of-the-road Pac-12 team. Right now we're tied for 7th place, and that's really who we are, where we are. Now, if we want that to change, we have to make it change, and it has to start on the defensive end, rebounding, and then hopefully our offense can smooth out and become consistent. But again, that's just the nature of college basketball.
Bill Parcells once said, "You are what your record says you are."
You are what your record says.
Your numbers put you in the middle of the Pac-12. When you talk to your guys, do they accept the fact that they're a middle-of-the-road team?
Well, they got no option. I mean, that's who we are, and it's like, okay, now is that who we want to be? Is that where we want to finish? Is that what are we okay with that, or do we want to change that? And the only people that can change it are the people in our locker room and certainly our coaching staff, and that's what we're talking about on a daily basis, Mark.
Derek White, you said up the top about wasting a performance by him. He has been playing some special basketball here as of late.
Yeah, he's what and I said this earlier in the year. I'll say it now. My only disappointment about Derek White is the opportunity to coach him for 1 year because he is a special player. Does so many things for us. I think he's in the top 5 in 4 different categories in the Pac-12 in terms of statistics. I mean, he's blocking shots. He's passing the ball. He's scoring the ball. He's a special player.
You've got 2 left here in the regular season at the Coors Event Center, Cal and Stanford. Stanford first on Thursday night. Quick comment about those 2 ball games. And Senior Day, of course, coming up on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's look, the end is here. This is the last weekend of the regular season. We got both teams at home. A Stanford team who's playing much better. Reed Travis had a monster game against Oregon. They're playing better than they were when we beat them 2 weeks ago. So we got to be ready for them. And then Cal is the best defensive team in our league. They're coming in here on Saturday on Senior Day. They're going to try to spoil it, and hopefully, our guys have enough gumption within themselves that they can buck up here this weekend and take care of business because it's not going to be easy.
And take care of business while kind of ending the regular season on a high note, heading into the postseason tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. Because again, on Saturday, win or lose, Saturday night, you go to bed, you wake up Sunday morning, it's a new season. Right. It's 0-0, and now you're playing for postseason berth. The regular season champion of the Pac-12 does not get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
That's right.
The postseason tournament champion has that, so that's still the carrot out there dangling for a lot of teams.
Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Head coach Tad Boyle. They've got Stanford on Thursday, Cal on Saturday. We're going to talk women's basketball. They're off to the Pac-12 Conference Tournament in Seattle. JR Payne joins us next. Busy weekend for the Buffs, and you can follow all of it by checking out the media schedule at cubuffs.com. The women's team kicks off the weekend on Thursday in Seattle for the Pac-12 tournament when the Buffaloes take on Washington State at 7 p.m. on the Pac-12 network. The men are also in action Thursday night as they take on the Stanford Cardinal at 7 p.m. at the Coors Event Center live on ESPN and the Colorado Basketball Network. The men wrap up the regular season at home on Saturday against the Cal Bears at noon. The Senior Day game will be broadcast on the Pac-12 Network and the Colorado Basketball Network. As always, you can check out cubuffs.com for all upcoming games and where you can watch them.
Manages to get it back. Wide open on the backside. It was Leonard, partially blocked. It falls to Haley Smith, and just like that, the Colorado Buffaloes back in this game.
We continue in a Stampede, talking women's basketball. Head coach JR Payne joining us now as the Buffs are off to Seattle for the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. I know we don't want to delve into it too deeply with you, but it was a weekend on the road against the Washington Schools. The Buffs come up short in both of those, so a frustrating weekend to wrap up the regular season.
We did. It was frustrating. I asked Mark, I said, we're not going to talk about last weekend, but here we are. We're talking about last weekend.
It was either that or the Oscars. So we decided to go with basketball.
No, it was not our best weekend,
right.
And we've been playing so well, and I really think kind of
playing towards, great basketball. And this weekend was just, it was one of those weekends where you could dredge up the film and watch it and lament over it, or you could just flush it and move on. And that's going to be our motto. I don't think we could be any worse, so we're going to move on and get ready for the next one.
Well, and I guess the hope is, from a coaching standpoint, it's just a hiccup for Colorado before the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're playing good basketball. We just didn't play very well this weekend. And there's no excuse for it. There's no real reason for it. But we do have a great opportunity now to go into the tournament and continue to get back to playing well.
Were the issues more offensive than defense, or vice versa, or kind of all the way through?
Oh, gosh. It felt like everything was not going our way. In spurts, we defended well. In spurts, we rebounded well. In spurts, we scored the ball well. We just couldn't put it all together. And Washington is such a great team that if you have a lull defensively and offensively at the same time, it can open up really quickly, and that's what happened in that game.
So as you kind of look at the regular season as a whole right now, what do you think about what you did in your first season with the Buffaloes?
Oh, I think it's great. Our team has played really hard this year, and I think players have bought into their roles and really executed their roles well. We had some big wins. We beat a couple ranked teams. There were a lot of really good things. When we look back on this season, I think we'll say, man, we did a really good job. Our players did a really fantastic job.
Do you feel overall good about the way your team played defensively this season?
Definitely, yeah. I think we still lead the conference in forced turnovers. I don't know where we are numbers-wise. We don't really look at stats too much. But, yeah, I think people had to game plan for us, which is a good thing.
It's interesting. You say I don't look at stats too much. What do you pay attention to from a statistical standpoint when you evaluate your team?
Yeah, for us, rebounding has always been a really big thing. We aren't the best rebounding team. So for us, it's not necessarily that we're going to out-rebound people, but when we can really compete on the glass, that's a huge factor for us. I think if we went back at our wins and losses, we would see the games that we were successful were times that we turned people over and rebounded the basketball.
You talked about not wanting to, think too much or kind of go over the tape from these last couple of ball games. But then how do you approach that with your team?
Yeah, as coaches, we've already watched the film like 6 times.
I'm sure
it's not like we're not watching. We've studied it inside out. What should we have done differently? What can we do differently? All those types of things. It's just with the team, we want to show them areas that we were successful. We'll talk about things that we should have done differently, could have done differently. But really, the biggest thing was mental. We missed 12 layups in the first half and 9 free throws, at Washington State. So it's not like we weren't getting the shots that we wanted or getting to the free throw line. We just got to have confidence and put them in. Yeah, the Buffs only shot, in fact, 26% against the Huskies team. Yeah. There is a sense of newness of starting over, if you would, with the postseason, isn't there? Definitely, yeah. And I think our team has had a lot of success in the Pac-12 tournament, so they are excited about that. They love the tournament. They feel like this is a fresh start. This is a place that we can go in and make some noise. Now, it's kind of a unique situation, and we saw this with the men's team here a year or two ago, where the last team you play is the team you're going to play first in the tournament as the 10th seed. You've got Washington State again. Yeah. Quick turnaround against the Cougars. It is. It's a quick turnaround, and I think great for our team. Maybe we can get that fresh, that sour taste out of our mouth and play really well. We know we can compete. We split with them this year. Right. And so I think we're excited for another opportunity. All right. Well, good luck in Seattle. All right. Thank you. Head coach JR Payne, the CU women take out Washington State Thursday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Time in the Emerald City. That'll wrap up the Buffalo Stampede this week.